See the difference between poverty and success? Poorness rubs off, and smiling and chuckling and laughing is a coping mechanism because you have no ball. For those of you that got smirks on your fucking face now. And every time you smile during the week, I'm going to pound on you. And every time you chuckle, I'm going to pound and stop smiling, you little shithead. You're giving tacit approval to what I'm saying because what I'm saying happens to be the truth. It's like a whore in church. A girl used to fuck the university football team, and now she wants to be a nun. That's what you guys remind me of. You're all cunts, and that's why you're here. But you don't have to leave here a cunt. That's the operative part of the seminar. And there's always one imbecile in the class. I think I already know who the imbecile is if I'm looking at your paperwork. But we're not going to slow the class down because of that one imbecile. We've already got a bunch of repeats, and we have a repeats, not because I didn't teach it well, it's because they were the imbeciles and I didn't recognize it. I'm not saying every repeat in here is an imbecile, but close to it. Because you're so delusional. You're deluded. It's all shit. Not just the people that are back here for the second time. We've had people back here 12, 13 times. Now, I know we have one group of Dutch morons here. I told you not to congregate. This was not a networking program, right? But you did it anyway. Because you're weak. You rather be liked than effective. And you can't be weak with this program. You fail. And he had already been telling everybody the first night, like last night, the bullshit you give each other. He was in a different place in life 8 years ago. Bullshit. He's a cunt, just like you. That's not my problem, is it? That's your problem. I already told the people that are coming back for a second and third time, I wasted your money. Nothing's going to change. Nothing. And those of you of the Dutch numbnuts that have band together, if the leader's brain dead and you follow them, you're brain dead. Doesn't matter. Oh, now just think. 2 of the 5 that you spend the most time with are in this room. Okay? You're fucked. You don't have a chance. Let's look at this like a real person, a mature adult. If you think these other 2 guys are a good influence on you, you're brain dead. I think you're brain dead anyway. What do you smoke a while? And the give me some of that shit. You've already got 2 strikes against you, all 3 of you. None of you are role models. So 3 also ran, and you made your acquisitions you brag about. I already beat you up about that. Fuck, I'd be embarrassed. I've got 14-year-old kids doing 10 times that, and you brag about it. Okay, then for those of you that have a significant other, okay, so that's 3 of your 5. Anybody that would be your significant other that's got shit for brains. Losers. So that's 3 of 5. And maybe you got a parent that you have some contact with. That's 4 of 5. And I'll give you Jesus Christ to be the 5th one. If you look at it that way, and that's the way I look at it, that's the way Elon Musk looks at it, that's the way Steve Jobs looked at it, that's the way Marcus Bauer looks at it, you're fucked. But you don't have to be fucked when you leave here. But now I'm right 99% of the time. So I could you fill out the paperwork, and I tell you whether you're going to make it or not. Don't waste your time. That's how simple it is. When our 12-year-old daughter went to the seminar, she's now 36, she said, easy peasy, Daddy. Intellectually, you can give me a test now, I'll get 100%. She was right, but it's not the intellectual part, it's the hard part. It's the emotional part because you've had poor role models. At best, you maybe had a mom, part-time dad, if one, an older sibling, a grandparent. I don't care if you sold your daughter. What the fuck do they know about anything? Nothing. What kind of role model? What kind of benchmarks did they give you? Obviously nothing, because that's why you're here. Some of you come from countries where it's like taking candy from a baby, shooting fish in a barrel. It's so easy. Because the ethnicities are fucking idiots. A couple of you are from tough countries where it's not so fucking easy. But I point to Peter Horasti from Hungary, which is about as communistic as you can still get. And he now is the biggest healthcare owner in the motherfucking country in 5 years. He's about this tall. He weighs 80 pounds. And he wouldn't say shit if it was in his fucking mouth. I've been saying the same thing for 30 years, that everybody's wrong about not needing money. You don't have to have any experience, etc., dream team, etc. Nobody listened. Virtually nobody. Because I was telling unpleasant truths, and you would rather hear comforting lies. You coming back for the 3rd time or 2nd, nothing's going to change. And I'm not suggesting you come back 12 or 14 times, but nothing's going to change. Because you have not changed your fucking environment. Most mothers are toxic. Not all, but most. Most of you should have never had kids, and you should have rolled down the inside of your mama's fat fucking leg. You see, you can say easily rewire cognitively. You can't do that easy to say. But to do, for those of you 2 or 3 that are bright enough to understand what that really means, it's impossible. So that's why you're fucking afraid, because you've processed all this and you know the odds are against you. Even though all the shit's free on the internet and all the scripts are free, you're not bright enough to find the scripts. Everything's free. And if you're not bright enough to find the scripts on the internet, then God help you when you get out in the real world. you should join the Amstel Club, the Amstel Club at the Amstel Hotel. But now, when Sal and I were there about 2 years ago, and the manager wasn't even there, 2.5 days. He's working from home. How can you be the manager of a fucking hotel and work from fucking home? How's that possible? That's where we are. The world's fucked. At Amazon, if you want popcorn, you bring the popcorn to the office. If you want cereal, you bring cereal to the office. At Apple, 3 people share a Mac. But you don't read about that, do you? And I've been saying it for actually decades now. And some of the people say, my naysayers, a broken clock is right twice a day, Peña. That's what they say. I call negative oil the only person in the world, in the universe, I think in the galaxy, that knew we were gonna have negative oil. And we did, minus $37 a barrel. How did I know that? Other than I'm a smart cocksucker. You don't put on your request $900,000 loan, $200,000 working capital, and $150,000 line of credit all on the same fucking piece of paper. That's not how you do it. And these are the words that I use. You're so indifferent that you lump my working capital in with my majority loan? How the fuck do you know how I run my business? Who gave you permission to piss on my parade? Now see, you're not gonna use those kind of words, but something that approaches those kind of words, that you're fucking insulted. And the banks are weaker than they've ever been. What are you, another Silicon Valley bank? I better check my deposits. Only 4 banks have gone under. Do you think I give a shit? For those of you that have good enough eyes, you can see the dry tears on my cheeks right now. So I've just been watching myself and crying. I don't know why I even give these fucking seminars, because I don't like it. God damn, 30 years. Even though I realized it was a piece of shit when I started. That means coaching you. That's why most of you are still married. That's why you still deal with your toxic mothers. And you wonder why you don't have a pot that pisses in or a fucking window to throw it out of. And why you're fucked. You were born to be fucked. On the paperwork that you filled out, I said, what's the highest performance thing you ever did? Nothing. What's the highest performance thing your parents ever did? Nothing. What's the highest performance thing your siblings ever did? Nothing. Your grandparents, nothing. Well, nothing, and nothing, even in new math, is still nothing. And yet you're here. And this is the last fucking town on the abyss before you go over. You've tried every fucking thing known to man, transgender, and Jesus, and it hasn't worked. And that's why you're here. We're the last saloon, we're the last drink on the edge of the bar. And you go home and with a beer, and you got, the wife beater shirts, pull up to the TV, watch the 6 o'clock news. That's where you are in life compared to what you allegedly aspire to. And some of you make it and some of you don't.